voter in Mbeere North or anywhere else, do they ever get to choose? Or do they just follow whichever party they support at the national level?
Unfortunately, no. Just to answer your question, for purposes of brevity. The foisting of a leader on a people is nothing new. It's happened all throughout history. And even when you look at what happened in the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, there were people who sat in New York, organized people, gangsters, shipped them to Russia, donated the money in the millions, and then pretended that this was a Russian revolution, just so that they could oust the Tsar of Russia and impose Stalin, impose the communist regime that they wanted. And since we have those historical lessons, we have to ask ourselves, why is the national government, the executive, so keen on projecting its agenda, its aim at asserting itself in Mbeere? And Mheshimiwa has said that the amount of money that is being poured there is extraordinary. The common person in Mbeere probably is extremely puzzled. Now, for two reasons, I would say this is happening. First of all, the projection of the national picture that UDA, if it fails in Mbeere, it will be a pointer to its failure at the national level. Mm-hmm. More importantly, because the decimation, the reduction of numbers in parliament will have hit UDA in a very central way, because remember, the seat became vacant because of the incumbent then being elevated to the cabinet. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the voice of executive should be, quote unquote, louder in terms of enticement, the lure of the electorate to the government side. But it's not happening that way. So you find that the Mbeere people have their own choice at the local level, but they're being told there is Leo Muthende for the executive, UDA. And they are being told this is your person, you elect this person. And now, unfortunately, Honorable His Excellency Gachagua is there, and I'll answer your question about whether he should be there, and there is this group of people saying that he should actually be, declared persona non grata in Mbeere and elsewhere. You find that the DCP, having said that, okay, we would like to have people who are educated, people who are preferably lawyers, who should be elected into parliament so as to articulate the legislative agenda of DCP and so on and so forth. But he climbed down, as it were, to have the person who has been elected thrice as an MCA and therefore as a legitimate candidate. So you're right to say that the political class is out there to foist, to put down on the people their choice, because they see that this is the winning horse. And therefore, let's back up this winning horse, regardless of what actually the reality on the ground. Now, I feel so sad because the IEBC, unprepared as it is, goes to these elections, the by-elections, saying that we are unable to give you people the register of voters that is current, reflective of the populace and the electorate at this period. We will go by the June 21st, 2022 register of voters. What are you telling me? There is this class of younger people that have now joined the majority age, are now 18 and above, or are just at the brink of getting to the majority age, who then should be casting their votes. But they are now voiceless, disenfranchised. It doesn't bother the IEBC. It doesn't bother that political class that is coming to foist on the Mbeere people and the rest of the other places their choices other than these people. So you're telling this person there he should fold his hands, watch the fray as it goes by, and it is his constituency, her constituency. and therefore directly affecting him or her in terms of their aspirations. So you find the political class is out there machinating a person who, on the ground, the person who should be having that voice to say is totally cut off. This is most regrettable. This is what we call democracy. And you said that look at the political class then and the amount of money that is going around. It was alleged that someone in Banisa was offered 100 million from one wing of the political divide so as to exit and the political platform. And so the question is now, the person who comes in lieu of that person that has been enticed by means of this political maneuver, bribery I should add, is he the representative of the
Baringo as well?
Look at Baringo, for instance. The Baringo people then say that, oh, we want Gideon Moi in lieu of our deceased senator. And Gideon Moi then gets into, at the very last hour, to the disappointment and chagrin of his own people, what has happened to you, oh, our leader? This political hypocrisy is unfortunately what has bedeviled this country in a manner that is so injurious to our collective so-called democracy. And so we're in a democracy that is a sham. By any and all standards, this you cannot describe to be democracy, where the electorate, the people, are not given the voice, and the people who are quote-unquote elected articulated an agenda so alien to the common people, and you then have results that are totally alienated to that person. Unconstitutional, because we're told in the Constitution that Kenya is a multi-party democracy. That space has been totally constricted and decimated of what you would call political competition. Lastly, let me say this. The very unfortunate scenario that is playing out in Mbeere, you find that the UDA wing, the executive, the government wing, is more reactionary. They are not out there to push, place, or at least advance any agenda that is going to help the Mbeere people. What they see is that, oh, Honorable Gachagua has done this, oh, we're going to do it, but let's try to do it double. So they are reactionary to him. Instead of now saying that they are going to set the record, they are going to set the pace, and they're going to show the Mbeere people, this is what you've been lacking. Or at least Honorable Roku took you up to this point. But our person now will take you farther than that. And this is what we have in store. What are they saying? But just, it's a slugfest of all these words.
And this is across board, because listening to the leadership there, and they're talking more about even in their campaigns for a candidate in Mbeere, they're talking more about the national leaders. They're not talking about the candidate on the ground. No one is mentioning the candidates there. And this is